Badminton has a lot of rules in order to define what is allowed or not allowed to occur during situations on and off the court. If you play badminton, most of you will be aware of the majority of the rules. However, there are some rules which you might not have heard of before. In this video, I'll be mentioning some of the obscure and weird rules which are part of the game. Something quite rare to happen in badminton is when the shuttlecock gets stuck at the top of the net or in the net. In the service situation, if you serve and the shuttle gets stuck at the top of the net or goes over but then gets stuck on the other side of the net, it is a fault and you lose the rally. However, if this happens in the middle of a point after the service situation, it is a let and the rally is replayed. This means if you manage to hit the shuttle over and there is no chance they're getting it, but it gets stuck on their side of the net, then it would still be a let. Next, we have all most likely done it, and it's hitting the ceiling or any obstacle attached to the ceiling. Badminton halls all vary in height and features, and surprisingly, the rules do not specify a minimum ceiling height. Technically, if the shuttle does hit the ceiling, it is a fault and is not a let. In professional play, this doesn't happen that often because the ceilings are high enough. However, at lower levels, it's down to the referee at that time to state the rules at the start. They are allowed to make bylaws which can allow a let to be played if the shuttle does hit a low hanging object. In some situations, the let isn't allowed on a serve, where players could deliberately hit the ceiling to get more time to recover. However, it is a let throughout the rest of the rally. You really just need to make sure you ask an official what the rules are at the start for halls with a low ceiling. In a service situation, it can be a let if both the server and receiver are faulted. For example, if the server makes a service error and the receiver moves too early or takes his or her feet off the ground. However, if the server makes an error, such as a double action before hitting the shuttle, and then the receiver hits the net with their racket, it would still be a fault for the server. This is because the server would technically have broken the rule first, before the receiver. This principle is also the same during a rally too, and the first fault takes precedence. Whatever comes after is irrelevant. For example, if your opponent plays a net shot that does not go over the net, it hits the tape and begins falling down on his side of the court. If you then hit the net with an attempted net kill, you still win the point because the shuttle was already out of play. Furthermore, if a rally is interrupted due to another shuttle landing on your court, it is automatically a let. You could see how this could annoy some players in a game, but it's considered a hazard, and therefore the rally should be stopped for safety reasons. Did you know there is an actual rule stating it's a let if during play the shuttle disintegrates and the base completely separates from the rest of the shuttle? Granted, I don't think I've seen that before. At least now we will know if that actually happens during a rally. When you start a badminton game, most players will hit the shuttle up or toss a coin to see who serves first. But did you know if you win this toss, you actually have a decision whether you want to serve first, or you can decide which side of the court you start on. Therefore, the person that loses the toss can then decide the other option. For example, if you win the toss, you could pick to change ends, and the person that lost could choose to serve first. This is something interesting, which I haven't heard of before looking into this. The last obscure rule for this video. It is a fault if in play, a player obstructs an opponent. For example, prevents an opponent from making a legal stroke where the shuttle is followed over the net. So what does this mean? Well, remember when playing a net kill, you are allowed to follow through with your racket over the net as long as you make contact with the shuttle on your side. If your opponent obstructs this by putting their racket in the way so that you'd be forced to hit it, then you win the rally. Your opponent is allowed to put their racket in the path of the shuttle. They are just not allowed to block the stroke of your racket. These are just some of the strange badminton rules I found. I'm sure there are more, so if you do know any, let me know in the comments and I could make a part 2. Please subscribe and like the video for more badminton content. Thank you for watching and have an amazing day.